Hey everyone, welcome to another Casual Friday. So I got really good feedback last time for my Casual Friday video showing off my casual dinosaur tribal deck. So today I figured I want to show you actually a tribal deck that I enjoy even more than dinosaurs, and I enjoy it because it's cats. And I have two cats of my own. I've had another cat who actually recently passed away. It's okay, he passed away at 14, 15 years old, so he had a decent life. But I do have two younger cats, two brothers, and cats are one of my favorite animals in general, domestic and wild. So of course, if I'm going to be building a casual deck, I'm going to be having a casual deck tribal cat, or I said that in reverse, tribal cat casual deck. Right? That sounds better. So I figured let me share it with you as I shared with you last week, the dinosaur video. Dinosaur tribal video. If you haven't seen that, by the way, go check it out. I figure you'll probably enjoy that as well. So let's start off again with the smaller creatures, the guys I want early on, Savannah Lions, of course. Now remember, this is my casual decks, all right? I'm not going to match the arts. I'm not going to get all foil or on non-foil. I'm purposefully actually going for variety in my cards. So don't go too crazy if this bothers you. Trust me, the deep down inside, it does bother me to some degree or another, but it is what it is. So starting off with 4 Savannah Lions, you can't go wrong. Nice little aggressive beater, at least for the era that they were printed. 2/1s, very important for the deck. Next up, though, you're upgrading pretty quickly here. We're upgrading to a Fleecemane Lion. So for 2 mana, which you're going to obviously get very easily, it's going to be a 3/3 just by itself. And if it survives long enough, which in casual it might, because you don't see a lot of lightning bolts, so at least not in my play group. When you get to 5 mana, you get to Monstrosity it for 1, and all of a sudden it becomes hexproof and indestructible. So if your friends didn't get rid of it before, they're not going to be getting rid of it anymore. So of course you're going to be running 4 of, and I think I have a foil of it here. Yeah, I do. So I gotta respect the foiling. I'm not going to take it out just because this is a casual Friday. We're just going to take it easy. Respecting the foil, but not all the way. I'm going to keep it in its sleeves. So where do we go to next? So I figure, how else can I be annoying with my cats? And believe it or not, there's a flying cat. A cat knight, specifically. So Leonan Skyhunter, again, it's 2 white. It's a flyer, 2/2 in the air. Not a lot of my friends have flyers, so another great creature to have. Very easy to pay for it. It's going to be coming down pretty early. And boom. It's a 2/2 flyer they got to deal with. They're probably going to kill it some way or another, but it's part of the cat tribal deck. It's a cat. It's a flying cat. You can't go wrong. So now we're getting into spicier cards. So you have a whole bunch of these cats, and you want to be able to do something. You want to be able to pump them up somehow. So how do you pump them up? Of course, I have creatures that are going to be pumping my cats. It's a tribal deck. You can't have a tribal deck without that kind of cross synergy. So a more recent card that I added, unfortunately I haven't been able to play with it in real life, but I had to add it to this deck, was King of the Pride. So King of the Pride, other cats you control get +2/+1, which is awesome. It's only 3 mana. It's not hard to land, and it's not that hard to keep it on the battlefield, especially in casual. So unless I'm playing one of my friends' red decks or something, it's going to stick around at least for a couple of turns, and you don't even have to attack with it initially. And if you have multiples, and I'm running 4, once you have 2 on the battlefield, they're pumping each other. And you're going to have like a 4/2, right? My math is correct here. So it becomes a 4/2, both of them on the battlefield. So that's pretty decent. And not to mention, it's going to make your, Savannah Lions 4/2s, your Leonan Skyhunters are going to become 4/3s. Your Fleecemane Lions are going to become huge. So this is a pretty cheap Lord-like effect, and I'm more than happy. It's not even legendary, so you don't have to worry about it. And then on top of that, another card that was printed in Ammon cat. Well, let me get the foil of it, because might as well. So here's another cat. Other cats you control get +1/+1 and have lifelink. Do you understand how annoying this deck is? Do you get it? So. Okay, sorry, that's just half. That's like 1/2. The other half, when Regal Caracal enters the battlefield, create 2/1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. So they're 2/2s with lifelink, What? This card is amazing in casual. It's so awesome. It's a 3/3. It's not legendary. It's not legendary. So the minute you have 2 on the battlefield, it's just stupid. They're making each other big. All your cats now have lifelink. They all got bigger, and you have other lord-like effects in this deck. If this lands and King of the Pride lands, just one of each, man, your friends are gonna hate you. They're gonna. I mean, they already hate me, which is why I'm playing those cards. But I mean, if you want to, piss off your friends, this deck is actually pretty fun. So I used to play more of these, but then I cut them because I needed more space for lords. But Quasali Ambusher is pretty fun. So it's a 2/3 with reach, which is pretty cool. I'm only playing 2 of them, but I think 2 is fine. What's cool about this is that if a creature is attacking you and you control force in the planes, which you often do, you essentially can play this for free with flash-like ability. So you could play it at instant speed, and this is a great way to basically, block a creature that your friends didn't think you'd be blocking. So again, very annoying. If you already have a lord on the battlefield, it comes out pumped. It could become a 3/4 or a 4/4, whatever it may be. And then boom, you take out a creature they didn't think they'd lose. So again, very, very annoying, which is very awesome. And if you're giving it lifelink, it's just hilarious. The rest of the cats, similar to the dinosaur deck, although there's less 1-ofs in here, I have 1-ofs of these, because 1-of is enough. So Brimas, of course, King of Oreskos. What can I say about it? If you haven't heard of it, if you haven't seen this cat before, it's a 3/4 legendary vigilance. Just read the effect. All right, let's zoom in here. Whenever Brimas Oreskos attacks, put a 1/1 white cat soldier token with vigilance onto the battlefield attacking. Whenever it blocks, essentially doing the same thing. So pretty awesome. Those tokens are permanent. And of course, if you have a lord-like effect on the battlefield already, they're going to be 2/2s or maybe even 3/3s. Or they might be, 2/2s with lifelink, which is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Awesome card. And, it's already pretty hard to get rid of. And if it's getting pumped, it's even harder. So, yeah, Brimas. And then I'm playing a 1 of Leonan Warleader, which is also pretty cool. Printed in Core 2019. Whenever it attacks, create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink that are tapped and attacking. So again, it's already a 4/4 body, so you're probably going to attack with it pretty confidently early on. If you're pumping it to a 5/5 or a 6/6, I mean, it's just kind of a joke at that point. And you're creating little 1/1s that are probably going to get pumped at some point with lifelink. Again, you're gaining so much life in this deck, it's hilarious. Another card I'm playing a 1 of, Keeper of Fable. So whenever 1 or more non-human creatures you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Simple. That's it. But I mean, I put it in here for card draw. So all my creatures are non-human, and whenever it deals damage to a player, draw a card. Perfect. I go pretty wide with this deck, with all the token generation and all that. So, and it's a 4/5, so it's got a pretty big body. I'm perfectly happy with drawing more cards and pissing off my friends more. Then we got a beauty here. So it's a beast spirit, but I got a rat at the cat. So boom, Phantom Nashoba is in this deck. It's a 0/0, has trample. When it enters the battlefield, it comes in with 7+1/+1 counters on it. Whenever it deals damage, you gain that much life, so it essentially has lifelink, but it's not lifelink. I don't believe it was errated to lifelink, so this is an added effect, and there's a lot of cards like this that exist in Magic. So they had lifelink, but it wasn't called lifelink, so I can give him lifelink, and he will have both effects active at the same time, which is amazing. So imagine this is 7/7, it has pseudo lifelink and lifelink if I have the Caracal on the battlefield. So you're getting 14 life, which is it's fun. Actually, no, well, you're getting 16 life because it's going to get a +1/+1. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. If damage would be dealt to Phantom of Nashoba, prevent that damage. Remove a +1/+1 counter from Phantom of Nashoba. Alright, so it might be losing some counters here and there, but it'll never die, which is cool. I mean, it'll never die from losing counters if you have a pump-like effect, so if you have a lord on the battlefield. So again, very annoying card, and I got it in foil to piss off my friends more. As you can tell, you can see what kind of casual player I am. I mean, I have to. If I'm going to power down my decks, because I want to play more casual, I'm going to try and still be as annoying as possible. Up next, we got Jedogenin of Efraba. I butchered that. I don't really care. Force Walk, whenever it attacks or blocks, put a 2/2 green cat warrior creature token with Force Walk into play. So again, you're creating more tokens. These are 2/2s out of the gate. They have Force Walk, so if any of your friends control forest, boom, they can't even block your creatures. They can't even block him or his tokens. So you know what? Hilarious. That's all I have to say. Then we got Jareth, Leonan Titan. This is such an awesome card. Whenever it blocks, it gets +7/+7 until end of turn. So it's almost doubling its defense. It's almost doubling its power every time it blocks, which essentially means it's going to be blocking massive creatures. And this is just unpumped. This is just assuming it's not pumped. Imagine when it's pumped. Imagine when it's pumped, and imagine when it has lifelink. Could you imagine? Just picture it. Just picture it. Then for 1 white, it gains protection from the color of your choice until end of turn. Do you understand what I'm doing when this is on the battlefield? Oh, it has lifelink, and I'm going to protect it from, let's say, whatever colored creature you're attacking with. Oh, it blocks. It will never die no matter what, even with Death Touch. And yeah, I just gained a bunch of life. Thank you. So again, getting a bunch of life, and even if you're not, who really cares? And then last but not least, you got Sabertooth and Shoba. Also got errata to cat. Trample, protection from blue, protection from red. Cool. And it's a 5/5. Well, you know what? I'm pretty happy with that. Nice colors to be protected from, and it has trample. So, those are my cats. What do you think? What do you think about my cat collection? I love these cats. I love this deck. It's so fun to play. Then we got some instants. So I'm playing Source of Plowshare. I have access to white here, and I have the space for it. So I figured let's get rid of some creatures I don't want on the battlefield. Obviously, if I have the choice, I'm going to play Source of Plowshare over Path of Exile. I don't really want to rant my friends. I don't really care if they gain life, especially in a deck like this where I'm almost certainly going to have more life than them for the most part, unless they'll gang up on me, which they do anyway, by the way. So, you know, Source of Plowshares, I don't really care if they're gaining life. What I really want to do is get rid of their creatures. Then, of course, because I just want to iterate how broken this card is, since I am playing green, I really, the competitive player inside me finds it really hard not to play with them, so I just have to have 4 Once Upon a Times. I explained to you last time why this is essentially banned in most formats, at least most competitive formats. It's because essentially it's a free spell. And if you're playing green, there's no reason for you not to put 4 of these in your deck and remove 4 lands. Or remove any number of lands. There's no reason. There's no reason to. So this is why it's banned in essentially every format that's competitive, or at least restricted in Vintage, I'm sure, or whatever it is in Legacy. But yeah, I'm doing it. Then I got 1 of each. I've got 1 Glorious Anthem and 1 Always Watching. So Glorious Anthem is great because it's going to be just pumping all my creatures again. It's like another tribal, that's another Lord-like effect. So creatures you control get +1/+1, which is awesome. And what I liked about Always Watching, now there's a downside. So the downside is non-token creatures you control. So all the tokens I'm creating will not benefit from this, but the non-token creatures, my actual cats that I'm casting, get +1/+1 and have vigilance. That vigilance is awesome. It means like it helps me like attack in and not worried about like stalemates, because none of my big creatures that are not tokens are going to be tapping and leaving myself open. It just adds insult to injury, honestly, in a deck that's already gaining a lot of life, so I figured I might as well play it. Last but not least, I got lands. Of course, I've got lands. So as usual, I actually, again, since I have a lot more creative flexibility with my casual decks, I like picking lands that have nice art. And since this is cats, I figured let me focus on like forest-like lands, which most of them are for forests. Forest-like landscapes. I have this in the Dinosaurs deck too. I love this one. This one's really, really nice. One of my favorite for forests. I figure, I mean, cats either live on the savannah, like on the plains, or certain types of cats also live in jungle. So, I think my lands are pretty on theme, for the most part. I think for the Dinosaurs deck, I tried to pick lands that kind of looked like ancient style, like as old as possible. And here I tried to pick lands that the art was close to where wild cats actually live, like this one, for example. Well, this is very much Savannah of Africa. And boom, you got a watering hole, and that's where my cats go to find their meals. And then here you got some more plains. I just thought this was really cool art for planes. This too is pretty cool. I guess when my cats are hungry, want to eat humans or whatever being lives in those huts, well, they got it. I found this pretty cool as well. I really like this one. And then you got these planes looking very good. This is just really cool art. You got the clouds mixing in with your land. So that's pretty awesome. And again, more human food for my cats. I figured all my friends live here and my cats are paying them a visit. And then we got some duels, some dual lands. So Scattered Grove. It's pretty cool art. So I'm playing 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. They're pretty good. Scattered Grove enters battlefield tap, but it has a cycling of 2. I often, maybe you overdrawn lands or overdrawn stuff you don't need, so the cycling 2 is pretty useful in this deck. And then I have 4 Canopy Vistas. Again, enters battlefield 2 or more tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. And you control quite a few basic lands, so I figure this is also pretty good for color fixing. Obviously no fetches, this is casual. I'm not going to go nuts on fetching. Plus, I do get, piled on, dog piled on often when I'm playing with my friends because they know what type of decks I play. So I don't know, the fetches kind of just seem unnecessarily painful early on, and I just don't do them. And plus I want to have some fun. I don't want to not get invited, although that never happens, to Magic Night, except, I guess everyone got uninvited this year. So what do you think about my cat's deck? Let me know in the description down below. Maybe I missed a cat that, wasn't in this deck, but this is a casual deck. I know it's weird to see Delver showing you casual decks, but listen, I have a life outside of competitive, believe it or not. But it's not that active. It's not that active because it requires face-to-face interactions, and even if there isn't a pandemic going on, there's life, there's kids. And that's just how it is once you get older. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. There's going to be more just to finish off this month in December. I figure I'm already taking it easy. I'm not doing any more deck techs until January. So, let me share some more with you. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe, hit notification bell. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, all those social network stuff. All that stuff really helps me out a lot with the YouTube algorithms and the social networking algorithms in general. Plus, if you want to stay up to date with giveaways that I'm doing and other content that I'm putting out, those are the best places to be following me. And if you want to be eligible to win in any of my giveaways, you need to be following me on Twitter and you need to be subscribed to me on YouTube. Those are 2 hard requirements. They will always be hard requirements. So keep that in mind. And big thank you to my patrons as well. Patreon is slowly growing, and that's perfectly fine with me. I don't want it to explode. It's slowly growing, and each new patron that joins is giving me good feedback, giving me good ideas. I really love that. So big thank you to my current patrons. And if you're interested in becoming a patron yourself, check out the link in the description down below. I have some pretty cool tiers. I think they're pretty generous. I hope they are. It was actually one of the patrons that gave me the idea, so I'm actually fully implementing it. Basically, at the end of every year, not this year, but next year, I send out non-bulk rares and mythics that I open up on this channel to all my patrons. So, most of the tiers, almost every single tier has that benefit. And this essentially means that no matter what, you are going to win a giveaway if you're a patron. And the longer you're a patron, the more you get. And then within the patron tiers, there's a bit of a randomness. A certain number will randomly get like a big expensive card, maybe like $30, $40 in value, whatever it may be. So there's a bit of fun with the patrons, and I get to circumvent stupid giveaway rules with stuff like that. So yeah, check it out. Thanks, and have a good one.